What's up fams, Anis here from allclouded, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look into the Heathen Coilmakers coils, and we also got a giveaway. So one thing you notice when you first start getting into vaping is how diverse the community is. And it's not just all the walks of life, it's also all the subcultures that's in vaping. You'll find that a lot of the members of the vaping community will more or less find which subculture or which niche area that they belong to, because it's more or less what's suited to their style of vaping, whether they're cloud chasers or maybe they're getting into juice mixing a bit, so they'll talk to a lot of the juice makers that are in New Zealand to try to sponge off all the knowledge that they've got. And this is why I love vaping so much. Now, a lot of the vendors that are in the industry are those that have found their niche and they love it so much that they just want to express it and show it to others that are in the community. So whether they're trickers, cloud chasers, mod makers, there's DIY juice makers, there's juice vendors, and then there's also coilers. Now, they've pretty much just honed their skills and their knowledge into their craft or their niche that they are associated with and that they love, and they're just really working their asses off to share it out with the rest of the community. Now, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that our juice vendors or our coil vendors, coilers in New Zealand, they're going to be hardworking people. They're going to be working full-time jobs to support their family. Then they're going to come home from work and then they're going to start whipping up some juice and making up some coils to fulfill orders. So I definitely have to do a massive shout out to all the New Zealand vendors out there for just really going ham for us so that we can experience the niche that they love so much. Now, when purchasing local or from a New Zealand vendor, you're really helping them advance their niche, so it's always good to support local because it helps them expand the variety, which gives us more products at the end of the day to have at our disposal. And that brings us to this video today. So I have to do a massive shout out to Alex from Heathen Coilmakers NZ for showing love to our channel. Thanks again, brother, and these coils are absolutely stunning. Now, once you pick up a set of handmade coils compared to maybe machine-made coils that you've been using, you're instantly going to notice the difference. Now, some machine-made coils that you purchase aren't even what's listed on the packet, and the quality of the vape is very subpar to what you're actually seeking out. So basically, you spend less and you get less quality, and if you spend more, your vaping quality will absolutely reflect it. So before we dive down and take a look at these coils, if you don't know the bro already, here's a few words from him.
What's happening, vapors? I am the wire master from Heathen Coilmakers. My name's Alex, and I'm a father of 3 children, one of which is still on the way. And I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about what we do and who I am, because this nice gentleman has agreed to review our coils. So, I was a heavy smoker, really heavy smoker, and then my missus put an eye dust in my hand, and the rest is history. I got myself an Alien and some rebuildable tanks and started becoming obsessed with wire and rebuildables. Started off on the geek vape like everybody, which there's nothing wrong with. It's pretty good stuff for what the price is. And then a local coil maker put a set of handmades in my hand, and I realised very quickly there's a massive difference between handmade coils and machine made. So I started making my own. And I started making real good quality stuff. I started making the likes of competition builds because those are the videos I was watching. And they said, you know, look, you've got to be giving this stuff to people. So when I looked at starting this, I wanted to see what it was I could do for people that wasn't already available. So I looked at materials. The materials I get, I try to get the Kanthal that's built in the USA. I try to get the nichrome that's built in Sweden. I try to get the best quality material so that I can make a really good quality coil. Like, for example, a set of my nichrome clappins has lasted me 5 months in my combo. So it's about more than just the performance. It's about longevity. I want you to be able to use them for ages. It doesn't matter to me if you do or don't, but I want you to be able to. You know. And then there's what are you chasing? For instance, are you chasing flavour or are you chasing clouds? Those are the big questions you get asked. Why should you have to sacrifice one for the other? Why can't you have a really good flavour and a really big cloud? Why can't you have both? So that's what we're doing. We're trying to make a happy combo of both. So with all the extra quality in that. So keep it cloudy, fans. Watch this guy's videos. He seems to know stuff, and enjoy.
Shot brother Alex. So we've got 4 pairs of coils. We've got a staple there. We've got super Claptons. These things are absolutely awesome. All these coils are absolutely gorgeous. Another staple. One's a high resistance, one's a low resistance. And these are the juggernauts. They seem to be in everybody's staple diet. Now, firstly, off the bat, They're absolutely awesome. They're beautifully made. So I'm going to pair up the Super Claptons and the Peerless. If you do not have a Peerless, the flavor and the amount of room and diversity of the deck, you have to pick them up. So basically I'm just going to connect the positive to the negative post. Very simple stuff here, fam, for builders. They can get a bit niggly in most decks that aren't velocity and stuff like that, but you get the knack of it. Pretty much just gonna align it up. I use this deck so many times, I know exactly where to line them up. I'm just gonna put low watts through it. Now they do have a lot of thermal mass. Anything that's not round wire carries a lot of thermal mass, so just glowing them. So see, there's a hot spot there on the right hand side. I'm just going to try to pull it across, because what we don't want is to leave that hot spot in there, because it's going to be disastrous for the cotton. And look at those are absolutely stunning. And the Peerless just swallowed them like they're nothing. Like they're 7 or 8 reps, so they're a lot of metal to heat up. So now we're just wicking it. I'm just going to peel the outer sheets off the square cotton. I use square cotton a lot. It's just, I find it a lot more easier myself personally. Everybody's different. Personal preference, guys. Everything's subjective. I'm not a pro builder. I'm not a coiler myself. I'd rather just purchase them. Just going to do Scottish roll. Pretty standard stuff here, guys. I think everybody does this. And then we're just going to pinch one end just to make it easier to go through it. So as I'm pulling it through it, I'm just going to give it a bit of a swivel and a twist, any way to get it through. Now we don't want it too tight, we don't want it too loose. We're just going to find that happy medium, jiggle it around, make sure that it's going to work properly. I'm just going to first cut off the ends that I've twisted. It's going to make it a hell of a lot easier to comb out. And then I'm basically just going to use anything pointy, like you could just use a bit of wire or anything. I've got this toothpick looking thing, and I'm just going to try to, because it's been Scottish rolled, I'm just going to try to open it up a bit more before I start combing it. Now the Peerless has got a massive juice well on it. It's something like 8 or 9 mil deep, so you can use a lot of cotton in this deck. And you can also, for vapors like myself that we like just dumping juice down the hatch, it's a hell of a deck to deal with, and the flavor on it that you get is just absolutely awesome. So I'm just going to first put a bit of juice on the posts and on the coils and that, to make sure that there's no dry spots within the coil, because I did pack a lot of cotton in there. I'm just going to put a few pulses in it and very, very low watts to try to get the juice to move around inside the coil. Now this is the hardest part, is trying to put the cotton in there without stuffing it. I have to do a shout out to my son, Little Anaru, for filming it. He filmed it on my phone. He done an absolutely awesome job. And look at them. They're absolutely fog machines. 7-8 wraps, I think, of these Super Claptons. Absolutely awesome. So now we got the higher resistance staples. I think they're coming out at like 0.11, I think they ohmed out at. Now I'll put them in the icon. I probably should have used something with a clamp, or maybe something just a bit easier. The way the icon's designed, the outside leads go lower than the inside lead, and because these staples are so huge, I first tried it the opposite way, how the deck was designed, and I mean I just couldn't even fit any wicks in, and they were just so simple to glow. They just glowed absolutely easy. Piece of piss. And look at them, absolutely stunning. So same thing again, pull off the outer layers, trim the twisted end, give it a haircut. Scottish roll, so just going to make a bit more room, make sure it wicks efficiently, and then we're going to get ready to comb it out. Might get a juice shot in there for you guys. Trim it up. Really standard stuff here, guys. Oh, and look at that. They just swallow the juice. Absolutely stunning coils. So same thing again, just a bit of low watts through it, just to make sure there's no dry spots, and then going to gently tuck it in, and then make sure that all the cotton's properly primed. Put some big watts through it, and look at them, they are angry as shit. They're absolutely gorgeous. And that's about us, fam. So first things first, what can I say apart from absolutely stunning coils? They're gorgeous to look at. There's a lot going on with more exotic coils, and the colors that you get from them, the flavor, the cloud, everything is definitely on point, and it's always worth spending the extra money to get something that's bang on. Now I've been using these for maybe 6 or 8 weeks. I've lost a bit of track of time, and I've been using them daily, and they're absolutely chugging along fine. So if you pick up some coils that are handmade and they're made out of good quality metal, they will last the distance. Now the quality and the flavors there, and it's a good feeling when you pop the hood and somebody goes, what are you vaping on? And they see some stunning coils in there, and especially when it's from a well-known vendor in New Zealand. Now the variety that I picked up is awesome. Now there's a competition build in there as well, if I feel like using it on my tubes and that. So if you are interested in more competition sides of the builds on these exotic coils and you know Ohm's law, then it's absolutely fine. You should definitely pick some up. Now one thing to note for our viewers today, if you're interested in any of the more exotic coils from the Heathen range, then the pre-fire is fairly low. So if the coils are rated at say maybe 0.1 or 0.11 or anything around that lower spectrum, and your mod only goes to 0.1, the pre-fire will be very low. So maybe having a device that fires at 0.05 or anything like that, you can get that pre-fire, and then once that's done, then the resistance will rise. So it's definitely something to bear in mind if you're going to pick up some staples or anything like that. So what about the rest of the range from Heathen Coilmakers NZ? So the range that they offer is what you'd expect from a good coil maker in New Zealand. There's staples, juggernauts, Claptons, etc. And what I also love about Alex's range is he caters to all walks of builders in New Zealand. So there's competition builds designed for mech users like tubes, parallels, but he also has a great line for those that are running rig mods only. So to me, this is a huge 10 out of 10 for the range, because you got stuff for the more advanced builders, and you got stuff that's more catered to the beginner to intermediate builders that want some really nice handmade coils. And I myself personally, I only use rig mods at work and they don't fire below 0.1, so having this in your range is absolutely solid. Now to the good part, fam, the giveaway today. So the winner will receive 2 pairs of handmade coils from the Heathen Coilmakers NZ range. Now I'm coming on 2 months with the sets that I'm using, and they're absolutely purring fine, so you're definitely in for a treat, fam. Now once contacted, if you're the winner, you get a choice of any of the full range, so 2 pair out of the full range. And if you're more into competition builds or you're looking for coils for your rig mods, the bro will be able to work with you and you'll be able to customize and work on a few things. So it's definitely going to fire your device, and it's going to give you the vape that you're looking for. So to be eligible for this giveaway, so I'll put a link down in the description to the Heathen's Facebook page. All you need to do is follow the link, like the Heathen Coilmakers NZ page, find where this video is posted on their page, go down to the comments, and all you have to do is hashtag Heathen Coilmakers NZ. So it's dead simple. Like the page and hashtag Heathen Coilmakers NZ, and that makes you eligible for this giveaway today. So once again, massive thanks to Alex, and for everyone tuning in today. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And as always, keep it cloudy, fam.